associate, the outsider looking in. You're 19 years old, standing on the corner of 18th Avenue. You're a nobody. Your father was a hardworking immigrant who died with nothing but calluses on his hands. You want more. You hang around the social club, a place where the windows are blacked out and the air smells like espresso and expensive cigars. You don't go inside, you stay by the door. You're the kid who runs to the deli to get sandwiches for the men with the gold watches. You're the one who wipes the condensation off their Cadillacs when it rains. You're a ghost. You carry messages that can't be said over the phone. You're handed a brown paper bag. Don't look inside. Don't ask questions. You deliver it to a guy behind a dumpster in Queens. You spend 12 hours a day watching a specific warehouse. If you see a car that looks like a Ford Crown Vic, the cops, you call a specific number, say, "The weather is gray," and hang up. You are the eyes and ears of a monster that doesn't even know your name yet. You're lucky if you make $400 a week in crumpled 5s and 10s. You have zero power. If a made man spits on your shoes, you thank him for the moisture. But in your neighborhood, people start to look at you differently. They see who you're talking to. That look is your only currency. Your fear isn't the police, it's the silence. If you lose that paper bag or if you miss that cop car driving by, you don't get a warning. You just stop being invited to the corner. And in this world, being alone is a death sentence. Level 2, the earner, the money machine. You've proven you can keep your mouth shut. Now they want to see if you can make them rich. They give you a route. You're no longer just watching the warehouse, you're managing the numbers. You realize the Gambino family isn't just a gang, it's a shadow government. You're the tax collector for a world that doesn't use banks. You run a Shylock, loan sharking, operation for a Capo. You lend $1,000 to a desperate gambler on Monday. By next Monday, he owes you $1,200. If he doesn't have it, that's where the philosophy ends and the tragedy begins. You have to look a man in the eye, a man with a wife and kids, and tell him his ribs are worth less than his debt. You learn to turn off your heart. You also manage the numbers, the illegal street lottery. You spend your nights in the back of a smoky pizzeria, counting thousands of dollars in dirty cash, sorting them by denomination. You're bringing in $2,000 to $5,000 a week, but you only keep 20%. The rest goes upstairs to the boss. You're wearing your first leather jacket. You walk into a restaurant and the owner gives you the best table for free. Not because he likes you, but because he's terrified of what you represent. Your fear evolves. Now it's the shortage. If the money you turn in is even $100 short, they suspect you're skimming. And no one skims from the Gambinos and lives to tell the tale. You start looking over your shoulder. Is that car following you? Is that guy at the bar a Fed? You're making money, but you've forgotten how to sleep. Level 3, the associate candidate, the blood contract. The air is getting colder now. You're no longer just a kid on the corner or a guy counting envelopes. You've tasted the money, but now the family wants to taste your soul. To move up, you have to stop being a person and start being an instrument. You've been an earner for 3 years. You've brought in millions, and you've never touched a drop of drugs because the Gambino old guard kills you for that. Your capo takes you for a walk in a quiet park. No phones, no cars. He leans in and whispers, "There's a guy, a rat in Jersey. He's talking to the feds. If you want to be one of us, he has to stop talking." This is the open door. You either walk through it or you stay a nobody forever. Or worse, you become a liability. This is the wet work. You aren't collecting interest anymore. You're collecting a life. You spend weeks casing a social club in a different borough. You learn his routine, what time he gets his coffee, which door he uses. One rainy Tuesday, you're sitting in a stolen Buick. You walk up behind him, the cold steel of a .38 Special in your pocket. You don't think about his kids. You don't think about God. You just think about the made man status waiting on the other side of that trigger pull. It's over in 4 seconds. Your life as a civilian is dead. You don't get paid for a hit. You get the nod. That's worth more than $1 million. You've shown you can kill on command. You are now officially proposed for membership. The police are looking for a John Doe, but the family is looking at a future star. Your current fear is instinctive. It's the smell of gunpowder on your clothes that won't go away. Every siren you hear, you think it's for you. You realize that once you cross this line, there is no quitting. You are owned. Level 4, the made man/soldier, the untouchable. The call comes at 3 a.m. You're taken to a basement in a nondescript house in Long Island. The 5 families' representatives might be there. A picture of a saint is placed in your palms. They prick your trigger finger with a needle. The blood spills onto the saint. They set the paper on fire. As it burns in your hands, you swear, "If I betray my brothers, may I burn like this saint." You are now a soldier in the Gambino family. You are made. You are a professional man of honor. You are given your own crew of associates, the guys you used to be in level 1. You don't do the dirty work anymore. You order it. You oversee a massive gambling ring or a construction union shakedown. Your job is to be a diplomat and a predator. If an associate from the Lucchese family disrespects your guy, you don't fight him, brawl style. You sit down with their capo and negotiate. You represent the G on your chest. You're clearing $10,000 to $15,000 a week. You bought your mother a house in Florida. You wear $3,000 suits. You are untouchable. If a regular person hits you in a bar, they disappear. Even the cops treat you with a twisted kind of respect because they know you're part of a machine. The fear changes from the feds to the family. Now that you're made, you can only be killed by your own people. You start to realize that the man hugging you and calling you brother today might be the one assigned to put a bullet in your head tomorrow if the boss gets paranoid. You never sit with your back to the door, ever. You're no longer just a soldier taking orders. You've survived the streets, you've spilled blood, and you've brought in millions. Now the family isn't just your life, it's your corporation. But as you climb higher, the air gets thinner and the shadows get longer. Level 5, the Capo regime, the captain. You are a skipper. You've been promoted to lead your own crew. You sit in the back of a social club in Ozone Park, and every morning a line of soldiers and associates comes to see you. They kiss your cheek, they show you respect, but most importantly, they show you the money. You are the buffer between the street and the boss. If your men mess up, it's your head. If they succeed, you take a cut of everything they touch. You are a CEO of crime. You oversee the port. Every shipping container that comes into New Jersey, you take a piece. You control the construction unions. No skyscraper in Manhattan goes up without a Gambino-approved contractor. You don't carry a gun anymore. You carry a cell phone and a mental ledger. Your job is to keep the peace and keep the revenue flowing. If two soldiers from different crews are at war over a gambling spot, you sit down with another capo and decide who lives and who pays. You're clearing $30,000 to $50,000 a week. You have a mansion in Long Island with a pool and a wife who thinks you're in waste management. You drive a brand new Mercedes every year. You have judges on your payroll and politicians who take your calls. You are a king in your own territory. The fear is the wire. You know the FBI has a task force dedicated just to you. You never talk in your car. You never talk in your house. You walk in the rain to have a conversation. But there's a deeper fear. Your own men. If one of your soldiers gets caught with white powder, drugs, and faces 30 years, will he flip and give you up to save himself? You start to look at your crew not as brothers, but as potential witnesses. Level 6, the Consigliere, the counselor. You've reached a level of grace. You aren't a warrior anymore. You are a ghost. You are the Consigliere, the third most powerful position in the Gambino family. You are the only person who can tell the boss no without getting shot. You are the diplomat, the lawyer, the priest, and the cold-blooded strategist all in one. While the street guys are fighting over car parts, you are negotiating with the heads of the other 4 families. You are the voice of reason. When the boss is angry and wants to start a war that would kill 100 men and bring in the National Guard, you are the one who talks him down. You manage the white-collar crimes, money laundering through offshore banks, stock market manipulation, and high-level political bribery. You spend your days in art galleries or golf courses, looking like a retired businessman, while you're actually moving millions across borders with a single whisper. Your wealth is immeasurable. It's hidden in shell companies and Swiss accounts. You don't need to flash cash because you own the people who print it. Your power is shadow power. You can make a criminal case disappear or get a man a seat on the city council with one phone call. The fear is the purge. When a boss falls or gets arrested, the new boss usually kills the old consigliere to erase the past. You know too much. You are a living encyclopedia of every murder and every bribe for the last 30 years. You realize that your wisdom is your greatest asset, but also your death warrant. You realize that in this life there are no retirements, only statues in a cemetery. Level 7, the Underboss, the Prince of Darkness. The air at the top is freezing. You've moved from the blood-stained sidewalks of Brooklyn to the marble floors of Manhattan penthouses. But as your shadow grows, so does the target on your back. You aren't just a man anymore. You are a monument. And monuments are built to be toppled. You are the Capo, the prince. You are the second in command of the Gambino Empire. When the boss whispers, you roar. You are the bridge between the boardroom and the trenches. Every capo in the family fears your phone call. You don't just manage a crew, you manage an army of over 250 made men and thousands of associates. Your word is law, second only to one man. You are the enforcer-in-chief. While the boss stays in the shadows to avoid the FBI, you handle the day-to-day chaos. If a rival family like the Genovese tries to take over a construction site in Midtown, you coordinate the counterstrike. You manage the money laundering on a global scale, moving cash through casinos in Atlantic City to banks in the Vatican. You are also the gatekeeper. Anyone who wants to see the boss has to go through you. You decide who lives, who gets made, and who gets shelved, stripped of power. You are clearing $100,000 to $250,000 a week. You own shipping companies, trucking fleets, and entire blocks of real estate. You don't pay for anything. The world is your gift shop. Your power is intoxicating, but it's a poisoned chalice. The fear is the ambition. You are in the most dangerous seat in the house. The FBI wants you because you can give them the boss. The boss watches you because he's afraid you'll kill him to take his seat. Every time you start your car, you wonder if it's your last breath. You realize that your brothers aren't looking at your face. They're looking at your chair.
Level 8, the boss of bosses, the king of the 5 families. You are the Don, the Godfather. You sit at the head of the commission, the board of directors for the American Mafia. You are the successor to Carlo Gambino and John Gotti. You don't do crime, you are crime. You are a ghost, a myth, a headline in the New York Times. You are the most powerful criminal in the Western Hemisphere. Presidents and CEOs have less influence over the real world than you do. Your job is geopolitics. You balance the peace between the 5 families to keep the billions flowing. You decide the fate of entire industries. You don't order murders. You authorize them with a nod or a shrug. You live in a fortified compound with 24-hour armed security. You move in a convoy of armored SUVs. Your life is a series of hushed meetings in basement kitchens and walk and talks in snowy parks. You are the CEO of a state within a state. Your wealth is billions. It's hidden so deep that even you can't see all of it. You have the power to ruin lives, build empires, and corrupt entire governments. You are a king without a crown. The fear is the total vacuum. You are completely alone. You can't trust your underboss, your consigliere, or even your own children. Everyone wants something from you. The DEA, FBI, and IRS are spending $50 million a year just to put you in a cage. You realize that your empire is a prison. You can't go to a movie. You can't walk in a park. You can't even trust the food you eat. You are the most powerful man in the world, and you've never been more terrified. Level 9, the ghost, the concrete sarcophagus. This is where the music stops. You've climbed a mountain of skulls, navigated a labyrinth of Judas kisses, and sat upon a throne built from the shattered ribs of the city. Now, the great collector has arrived, and he doesn't accept offshore transfers or political favors. He demands the only thing you have left, your existence. The contract is due. The ink was blood, and the payment is eternity. The $3,000 Brioni suits, hand-stitched like a second skin, have been traded for a rough polyester jumpsuit the color of a dying sunset. The armored SUVs that parted traffic like a dark Red Sea are gone, replaced by a steel cage on wheels. Those who once knelt to kiss your ring, the same ones who swore omerta with tears in their eyes, are either rotting in a pine box or rehearsing their testimony in a federal safe house. This is the path. From a street corner in Brooklyn to a concrete box in Colorado, you can have the money, the women, and the power. You can be made, you can be untouchable, you can be king. But in this life, there are no retirements. There are only 2 retirements, a 6 by 6 foot cell or a 6 foot deep hole. You chose the life. Now the life has chosen you. This is the Gambino family. This is Cosa Nostra.